Good morning or good afternoon. I am Yvonne from Colorado, and it is Tuesday, October the 10th. I want to welcome you all to the Winner Within Coaching Call, brought to you by the Unit of Prosperity, or UOP for short. We host these personal development calls Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern for the benefit of entrepreneurs and marketers everywhere. So you can feel free to invite your teams, no matter which company you represent, for some daily motivation and inspiration. So just in case this is your first time dialing into a UOP call, let me introduce our coach to you. He is a visionary, strategist, and entrepreneur. He is an energetic, highly impactful speaker and a fierce motivator. Utilizing his passion, he likes to take an aggressive approach to personal development by challenging what people see as the norm. His story is a remarkable one. From a very young age, he has had an entrepreneurial spirit, but lacked the guidance of positive role models to hone his abilities. Even though he faced many pitfalls and major challenges along the way, with faith, will, determination, and perseverance, he was able to reach his goal of becoming a successful entrepreneur. He has an affinity for community outreach and volunteerism. He has served in many leadership capacities over the years and is currently a member of the board of directors for both the United Negro College Fund and Sister Cities in Jacksonville, Florida. His vision is to motivate and teach others the power of effectively utilizing knowledge, resources, and network ability to obtain definitive goals and reach their greatness. Please grab something to write with. You are going to want to take notes as he shares with us his topic for the day, defining your success. It is my pleasure to introduce and bring to the call Dr. Adrian Gentry. Dr. Gentry, are you ready?
I am so ready, and thank you so much for the amazing introduction week after week. I appreciate it so much.
You are so welcome. Take it away.
No problem. First, I would like to say thank you all for getting on the call, taking time out of your day to allow me to at least serve you for the next 10, 20, 30 minutes. I appreciate that so much, and I don't take it lightly. Second, I always like to tell people a couple of things. I'm a very passionate person, so at some point my voice may rise. It's okay. I'm not going to convulsion. That's just the passion coming out of me. Two, I'm a Christian through and through, so every time I speak, you're going to get this God in me. If it bothers you, I'm sorry. That's who I am. And three, I'm a meat and potatoes type of person. I like to give you what I got, and I like to get off the phone call. So today, defining my success, finding your success. I've always been one of those people who I don't sleep much, and I'm always going back and forth in my mind about how to fix a problem or looking at the problems that we see today and kind of finding a solution for them. And recently, I was at my cousin's house in Atlanta. We were cleaning out his basement, and we were looking through some old books, and we ran across a book that kind of sparked a conversation about what success really looked like. And long after that conversation, my mind continued to run different scenarios of success and what it really meant to me. Everyone defines success differently, and I believe over the years, media and the keeping up with the Joneses mentality has altered people's idea of what success really looks like. I tell people all the time that majority of people are lost. LOST, living off someone's thoughts of what life should look like. Living off someone's thoughts of what they should sound like or what they should drive or what they should dress like. And we have never really sat down, and I haven't met many people who have really sat down and did a self-analyze themselves, analyze themselves and really came up with criteria that defines their success for themselves. And the problem with that happening is everything has become external. So external success has taken precedence over the internal, and that imbalance is causing more individuals to be materialistically rich and internally bankrupt. It's causing people to be frustrated and constantly chasing rabbits that ultimately would not fulfill them even if they caught them, and leaving them in a place of unhappiness. And so as I begin to really look and dive into what success looked like for me, I realized there was a lot of fat that I had to cut off. It's like getting a steak. You really enjoy steak. It makes you happy, but however, there's so much fat around it, you can't really enjoy it. And I believe when people begin to actually define the success for themselves, they will begin to see they're more successful than they ever thought they were. And they can live in a state of happiness. And in defining your success, a couple of things that you have to begin to do, a friend of mine calls it a do positive feeling. Like you have to identify an internal feeling that drives all of the other success principles that you have. So for me, my do positive feeling, so to speak, my internal drive that helps me make all of my decisions is three things. One, it has to be done in peace. I have to have peace in my life. Two, it has to be a part of my passion. And three, it has to line up with my purpose. So I tell people all the time, if it's not a part of my peace, if it doesn't bring me peace, it's not a part of my passion, and it's not a part of my purpose, I refuse to even touch it. And so I've aligned all of my success based off of those three principles. And today I'm hoping that I can get some of the people on this call two things. I hope one, that I can alleviate some of the pressure that you're walking around with every day in the belief system that you're not as successful as the next person, because you never know what the next person had to bear to get to where they are. Secondly, you don't know what they're actually going through to maintain this idea of success. And two, I hope to drive a lot of people into action. See, I realized something over the course of my life. Motivation doesn't last. It's about driving a person or people to a place of action so they can get to the level of success that they want. So we're going to focus in on a couple of areas today, and two of them are very core areas. Very core to you living a happy and successful life. And the first one I want to look at, and I look at it and I talk about it a lot because it's one of the factors that they're talking about in the Bible so many times that it has to be brought up when you're talking about success, and that's relationships. See, I think hashtag relationship goal is messing up a whole bunch of people. Because I've met a lot of people that have been in relationships for 10, 20, 30 years and are completely unhappy. And a lot of people are frustrated trying to get this perceived notion of success or happiness in their life, not realizing that the people that they're looking at are completely unhappy. So anytime you're setting a why in defining your success, it has to be something that's internal. Don't look outside of you to try to find out what success should look like in a relationship. And I'm going to share some of mine. I'm one of those people. I don't hide. I don't hold back too much. I kind of give you who I am, and it's actually one of my defining successes. Defining principles for success is surrounded by people I love and who love me. See, I have to have intimate relationships. So I hope some of my success principles, help you out a little bit. I have to have intimate relationships. I don't surround myself with any surface people. Because the surface people are the ones that are hiding the real hell that's going on inside of their lives and keeping you fighting for something that you can never obtain. I've said this before, men die a silent death, and the reason we die a silent death was because we were always taught never to communicate. Excuse me. So when in defining your relationships, what type of relationships do you really want? And I'm talking about this in every part of your life. I'm not just talking about an intimate relationship, a relationship with your husband, your spouse, or business, or your friendships. I'm talking about in business as well. Remember I said, the internal for me is peace. If the people around me do not bring me peace, then guess what? They cannot be around me. And after we look at this list, I'm going to tell most people right now that if these principles do not align with that feeling that you need inside to feel successful, you're going to have to begin to change some things in your life today. Another one of mine. Remember I'm saying I'm completely open and honest. So I'm a single guy, so I had to write this down. The other part is happily married to my best friend, right? So that's success to me. We're 100% loyal to each other. No one can come between us. We talk about anything and everything without fear of judgment, ridicule. We have never have to worry about our words or actions being broadcast to other people because we're a team. Is that a relationship goal that you can have today? And if it's not a goal that you have, it's not something that you have in those relationships, let me help you out. You can begin to change that today by the actions that you create. So many people are waiting for a time and a period far out from right now to live their dreams. And success is created in the present moment, and dreams are built day by day. And we can't procrastinate on living in this space of success until we see something that we perceive to be successful. So what is your why in relationships? Why do you want happy relationships if that's what you yearn for? What are the relationships around you causing? Are they benefiting you or are they tearing you down? That's why it's so imperative to identify that feeling. Because we'll do more for an internal feeling than we will do for an external, something we can see externally. And the more we begin to identify those feelings that bring us that feeling of happiness and success, the more we can move forward in our lives. Are they happy? Are they healthy? Can you be who you are? And if you can't, it's time to take those relationships and move them away from you. Because you can ultimately be living in success right now instead of fighting for something that may not ever be there. The second thing is income goals. Everybody like money. So why are you really fighting? How much do you really need to make you feel successful? If you ever get a chance, go check out the book 4 Hour Work Week. I read that book a couple of years ago, and it made me realize something. Most people don't even need the amount of money they believe they need to feel successful, to own that dream car, to live in that mansion that they may think they need. Most people right now have never defined the amount of money that they need to feel happy, to live in a space of peace. And so we get on this hamster wheel and we're constantly fighting for more and more and more and more. And the reality is you don't need more. Remember, I told you, I'm going to help you define through me. So what is my goal when it comes to finance? It's multiple streams of income. It's been said that most millionaires have 7 streams of income. In other words, freedom. There's a certain level of freedom I need in my life to feel successful. And over the years, I've watched people make excellent money. I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars, and at the end of the month, they're broke. I've seen people who literally spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in a week's time, and they're yearning for even more money, but the reality is they can never reach it because as soon as they get to that point in their life, the bar moves. Most people are tied to their businesses. They have to work with people they can barely tolerate just for the sake of $1 to fuel this lifestyle that they believe they should have and don't really need. So begin to identify why. Why do you need $100,000 a year? Is it something external or is it something internal? Would that give you a certain level of safety in your life? Will it give you a certain level of security in your life? Do you even need that security? Because if you do not define the goals of your income, you'll always be fighting for more. And you can never get to a place of peace and success in your mind. And that's going to drive you crazy. Why do you need that new car? Is it for you or is it for somebody else? Why do you need that 5-bedroom house? Is it for you or is it for someone else? How about that Rolex? Is it for you or is it for someone else? But because remember, if it's for you, you will fight harder for something inside of you than you will fight for something external. The third thing I want to talk about is character, because character binds everything that we do together. So how do you define your success in character? Remember, my three feelings, the 3 things that I need most of all is peace, purpose, and passion. If you do not define yourself in character, everything that you build in relationships and in finance will be torn apart. However you go after it, however you go get it, if you're going after income and you're doing it by any means necessary, eventually it'll come back on you and everything that you have will be taken away from you. If you haven't defined the principles in your relationships, everybody that heard the stories about the about the celebrities that decided to cheat and $500,000 is now, $50 million is now cut over to the other partner. You have to define your true character. How do you want to live this life? Are your actions bringing you peace? Are you willing to tear down anyone around you to get what you want? What do you want to do with the success and income when you finally get it? So I had to say, okay, what is the purpose of all this finance? What is the purpose of these things in my life? Because my thing is I want to be the greatest servant. That's internal. To me, I want to be able to serve my wife. I want to be able to serve my children. I want to be able to serve my community. I want to die knowing that I poured into people, and I don't believe success is based on how many people that you serve. It's based off of how many people that serve you, but based off of how many people you serve. Is that one of your beliefs? Because we've become a selfish society, and everything always has to be about us. But the more it's about us, the harder it is to get to success, because the more people that you begin to pour into, the other areas of your life begin to build up much quicker. Secondly, I want to leave a legacy. That's what the finance is about for me. Truth, love, knowledge, and wealth. There's a great difference between having money but being bankrupt in character. Everybody always looks at money as the one thing that they should be able to leave their children. No, it's about the love. It's about the truth. It's about the knowledge. So if all of these things are combined to leave your children, what are you doing today to better yourself, to live your dreams tomorrow? Because everything that you do should be able to align with your ultimate purpose. And if it's not a part of your purpose, then guess what? It's not worth doing. If it's not a part of your peace, guess what? It shouldn't be in your life right now. And too many people are stressing out, going after success that isn't even bringing them peace, and it doesn't make sense, and every part of your life is being torn apart because you haven't defined your success for yourself. See, I hear people say it all the time. It's a choice. Success is a choice. It's the basics. It's the simplest format, and somewhere along the way we begin to complicate what success really looks like. It's basic. It's not all flashy cars, and we hear, we're all in business, and we've got on motivational calls, and we've gotten on, business calls, and they're talking about, hey, look at this car, but the reality is you're frustrated at a car you don't even need. You're frustrated at looking what someone else has that you haven't even defined if that is success for yourself. And until you begin to define what success looks like for yourself, you'll always be on a hamster wheel fighting for something that isn't even for you. See, every day I wake up and I choose to be happy. Why? Because many years of my life I was completely unhappy. So every day I know I wake up and I'm living in a successful place. I don't have to be frustrated. You'll be amazed at how many people I see on a daily basis that are completely unhappy. They have the money, some are married, some are single, they have the houses, they have the cars, but happiness eludes them. They're constantly belittling others to make themselves feel better about who they are. They're constantly spending money on things trying to fill a void. And I don't care how much money you have, if you're not happy, there's no way you can ever call yourself successful. So there's a couple of things I need you to do today. I need you to begin to live in a place of happiness. You can't do anything about the past. You don't know what's going to go on in the future, but God gave us a gift, and it's called the present, and it's right now. Live in the moment for today. Do what you can today to get to your dreams for tomorrow. Because dreams are built in today. I remember sitting down one day and I was listening to, I think it was Reginald Stinson, the founder of UOP, and he said something that kind of sparked something in my mind. He said, I used to go to work, and on my off day, and when I went on lunch break, I used to sit in the car and make calls to prospects to build my business. So that was in 2007 when he began. In 2017, he's at a whole other level. In 2014, he became the top network marketer, the top internet marketer in the world. Understand, he was doing it in the day, in the moment. See, he had bought into his success. He had bought into he could have everything that he possibly wanted if he sat back and he worked for it. He defined what he wanted to look like, what it wanted to look like. And I'm pretty sure it was not something that was completely external, but it had to do with his wife. It had to do with his children. And many times we're looking at something that has to do absolutely nothing with the very people that's inside of our lives today, and we wonder why we're frustrated. You can't do anything about the money. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to come, it's going to go. I've been there, I've done that a dozen times. It's going to come, it's going to go. But the relationships that you cultivate right now, today, are ultimately going to add to your success. So the second thing is, I want you to begin to do is I want you to begin to cultivate those relationships that are right there inside of your life. Why? Because that's what success looks like. Happiness, 1, 2, healthy relationships. If that's something that you haven't been doing, listen, I'm going to need you to switch that up today. Men on this call, if you got to send some flowers because you messed up last night, dog, you better send them flowers. Women, if you went off on your man about that coffee stain this morning, you need to call him and apologize, because right now is where success lives. And day in and day out, we can continue to build on that success and live the lives that we ultimately want if we start right now. But you have to define what success looks like to you. Every day is a choice. You can choose to be happy and you can choose to be bad. You can choose to focus on the things that you don't have, or you can choose to focus on the things that you do have. The third thing I want you to do is I want you to write a list. I want you to write a list of all the successes that you've had in your life, and I want you to put it on a piece of paper. On the other side of that piece of paper, I want you to write another list. I want you to write a list of everything that you're grateful for right now in this moment. The things that are going on in your life today, because guess what? These are the things that are going to remind you just how successful you actually are. Because if you keep looking across the fence at what they have going on the other side, you can never feel success. You can never be happy living off someone else's thoughts of what your life should look like. You can never be successful if you're chasing a rabbit that's continuously moving. Or better yet, if you're chasing 5 or 6 rabbits that you cannot catch. Too many people in today's time are completely unhappy based off of something that someone else has. Too many people are completely unhappy and unsatisfied with their life based off what they think they need, and they have never really defined their success for themselves. So today I hope you take action, right? I hope you sit down and actually define what success looks like to you. Define the very things that you need to live a life with internal peace. And on top of all of that, have a guiding principle. What are your principles? What are the very things that are going to guide you to success? Going to guide every decision that you make. Remember what I said, mine are peace, purpose, and passion. I don't have to think about it much. And every day I know, and when I wake up, that I'm successful. Why? Because I'm guided by principle. I'm not guided by what I see outside of me. So today, please take action. Define your success. Choose to live in happiness. Stop looking at what everyone else has. And I guarantee what you'll find is you already have more success than you believed. You have a fantastic day. You're great because God took it.